And we're back with another episode of Pure Perspectives. I'm here with Gary Pierce. How you doing, Gary?
Good. What's going on, Clark?
Not much, not much. We are here today to talk about our realtor partnerships.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, a key component to everything we do is both the buy and sell side realtor on every transaction that we're involved in.
hmm
I know when you and I spoke early on, Pure Funding was just getting up and running. One of the value propositions was, look, we've got to change the way that realtors are involved in the process. They got to be more
hmm
actively communicated with on a regular basis.
Yeah,
We can compress the time to get a transaction closed if we're more active in communicating with our partners, that being the buy
yeah.
side agent, sell side agent,
hmm
and obviously the buyers and the loan officer. So I
Sure.
guess in your words, what, when it comes to realtor partnerships, what sets Pure Funding apart?
It's simply communication, right? Like I'm a firm believer in everybody has to know what's going on in these transactions at all times. And I think the biggest thing that people struggle with is the unknown.
Hmm.
And, even realtors that do a lot of transactions, each deal's different, right? Whether it's a conventional loan, FHA, VA, they still want to have that comfort and understanding of what to expect in the next kind of step in the process. And so
Yep.
I think we really stress the idea of, hey, let's weekly, you know, talk to everybody on the transaction, right? Like at least at a weekly basis. And most of the times that's happening even more than that
Hmm.
because as soon as a loan comes in or a deal comes in, we get it in, and we'll have it conditionally approved in 2 or 3 days. And so we're going to let those folks know, say, hey, look, we're got the first hurdle gone, right? So we're already
Yep.
past that stage. So I think communication is the biggest thing. Keep everybody up to speed. Worst thing you can have is, if you have bad news to deliver, you don't want to be your first conversation in the transaction 3 weeks
Yeah.
in. Like it's just a
Amen.
terrible, terrible experience. I mean, it doesn't matter what you're doing, right? And so I think communication is the key driver from that
Yeah, I'd
standpoint.
say, just in the deals that we've done here in California, and
hmm
looking at the conversation, the post-transaction conversations with buy and sell side realtors, it's, hey, listen, thanks so much just for staying on top of it. I never had to chase you for anything, Clark.
Yeah.
I always knew what was going on. If one of the members of the buying party is confused or looking for an answer,
hmm
I haven't done my job. So
Yeah.
I think we what reinforces it is kind of the post transaction conversations with the buy side realtors. And I think,
Yeah.
that is also what's helped grow our realtor network, right?
Sure.
Hey, like I had a really good experience, and this kind of
hmm
leads to the second point. Like those guys had, clear to close in 16 days.
Yeah.
Everybody's, transactions moving smoother.
hmm
Everybody gets compensated sooner. The homeowner gets into their house sooner.
Yeah.
How, I guess, that stat tends to catch a lot of realtors that I
hmm
talk to by surprise. Like, how are we able to obtain that fast, that compressed timeline for clear to close?
Yeah. So I think, time kills deals, right? And
Yep.
so the longer things drag out, more issues come up. And, we do a really good job operationally, Natalie, Susan's team, specifically on the processing side. So super experienced, knowledgeable. They know the guidelines in and out. So they're
Yep.
able to, instead of chasing down what we call conditions, they're heading those conditions off at the pass. Like they're addressing them before it gets back even to the loan officer, and that's a huge win, because a lot of times as loan officers at other companies we've worked at, you might be responsible for everything,
Yeah.
and here the your job is to really manage as a loan officer the experience, right? And so the ops team, the processing team, their job is to take care of the loan once it's submitted. And that really closes that gap, because we throw bodies at it. Like it is a
Hmm.
very specific, strategic way to do it. And, we've all talked to different, companies out there, lenders that, loan officers may not get that support.
Yep.
And so if they get busy, it's all on their shoulders. And so we've got it set up in a very efficient and expedited manner because we want this to be done as quickly as possible. And really, what it does is if something comes up, maybe something comes up on title,
Yeah.
3 weeks in, and if that affects the loan, that gives us time to work on title stuff and not also tracking down maybe an additional, income document or something like that. So the amount of bodies that are on these loans is super important and a huge game changer. We learned this probably 4 or 5 years ago. It just, get the right people on the team, which we do. Our team is outstanding on the ops side, and they just get stuff done. Like that's really the key to the whole deal.
Yeah, and I think what I noticed, or I guess what was surprising to some customers, including some family members that have done deals with us, was like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I really liked how you introduced the whole team right from the get-go. I knew who
Yeah.
was doing what. I was comfortable reaching out to Susan or whoever,
Mm-hmm.
Natalie, whoever was involved. I was
Yeah.
more than comfortable reaching out and asking questions. Hopefully, they're not having to do that too often. Hopefully, we're heading that off at the
Yeah.
pass, but they at
Sure.
least know who the team is. Like,
Yeah.
I know who I can go to. I know this is under control. I'm confident that this is moving forward, and I'm not going to get, an 11th hour surprise that I need 5 extra documents. Like we are
Right.
way ahead of that.
Yeah.
And so that all plays into our ability to get cleared to close. And then,
Mm-hmm.
you know, on the realtor side, like why is that efficiency so important? Like why is it important to them to get this transaction in and done quickly?
I mean, it's the dollars and cents, right? Like,
Yep.
so, realtors get paid when deals close. We get paid when deals close. So we're all in, it's a team, right? Like there
Yep.
shouldn't be any, there shouldn't be a situation where we're not rowing in the same direction. And that communication from start to finish allows that to happen, right? And so there's nothing better, in my opinion, where you are, you know, when an issue comes up and you've done your job on the front end, that everybody works together to solve the problem, right? And so instead of, I've never talked to this realtor before, and now I'm delivering a message that doesn't sound great because it happens. Like
Yep.
this is the
Yep.
mortgage industry, right? Like, clients are, you can have, they could have income issues, they could have things that pop up that you're not aware of that doesn't come up into the process. And again, we try to eliminate as much of that as possible. But if you're having those conversations on the front end and throughout the process, it just makes everything that much better, keeps everybody rowing in the same direction. And, it's the efficiency and speed to getting these things done. And like I said, speed kills, time kills deals. And so
Time
the
kill
longer,
deal and avoid panic wherever
yeah,
possible.
yeah. The
I think
worst
is the key.
Yeah, the worst thing is like there are deals that run down to the 30-day mark, right? Like even
Hmm.
though, we try to do as much as we can, and a lot of that's out of our control. You got appraisers, you got surveys, you got, all the things. But, if, we do our job, that even if it's coming down to the final hour, it shouldn't be an impact in a negative manner to the client or the realtor partners either, right? It just,
Yeah.
hey, we're chipping away, we're everything's going in the direction, because we know if it's going to happen, and if there's going to be anything that comes up, and if it does, then we address it and move on and get it done.
Yeah.
So,
And I think the other piece is, when you think about it as a team,
mhm,
especially on the buyer's agent, this isn't the last transaction this home
mhm,
buyer is going to make, right? How do
right,
we maintain that relationship with that buyer
yeah,
when they are buying a second home or they need to
sure,
move or whatever it may be? Like we
yep,
are
mhm,
actively involved with those
yep,
customers post transaction and making sure the
yep,
realtors involved are kept abreast of what's going on.
sure,
Um, through, that's why we've talked about our home wealth report, like staying in touch
yeah,
with them, letting them know what's going on with their investment on a monthly basis.
100%.
If they do need to raise their hand and say I need to do something, if it's just another loan, obviously we're there. If it's hey,
Hmm.
we need to do something or make a move, we are
Yep.
actively engaged with the realtor to get them back in the mix.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the percentage of the number of deals that don't happen with the same realtor or loan officer is frightening. It was one of the most frightening stats I heard of. It was like
Yeah.
north of 60%, I believe, was it not?
Yep. Yep. No, I think you're right. Hmm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean
It just,
we got to eliminate that.
yeah, you do that through the communication, delivering.
Yep.
And one of the things that we haven't really talked about, and it goes back to your question about why do our partners work with us, continue to work with us, and we don't say no to a lot of deals, so they've got a comfort level that if they've got a client, and the realtors know, they know if they're, if it's self-employed or if it's an
Yep.
investment property or if it's something kind of, out of the, the the regular lane of, conventional FHA loans. They know we've got products, two, we've got experience to get these deals done. And so it's not just throwing, spaghetti against the wall and hoping it sticks,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So, I think when you're looking at that, from a partnership standpoint, we hear that a lot.
Yeah.
The realtors like the idea that we can work in a lot of different categories as far as product set.
Yeah, you can tell the pain some realtors have been through because
Hmm.
they'll enter the conversation like, "Hey Clark, I've got somebody. It's probably not your ideal situation." Like,
Right.
stop. Like, we'll let us
Yeah.
figure that out.
Yeah.
It's our job to kind of get through
Yeah.
and work on the tough deals. We
Okay.
specialize in that. We want
100%.
to, get that one back on the tracks if it's a problem, and also help the realtor kind of get the deal moving and feel more confident that this one's actually going to close. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think this is all very important stuff. I think
Hmm.
we've been, you know, preaching this for a while when we speak with realtors, like, hey, we're very committed to this process. So I think this
Yeah.
is something we're going to continue to invest in. It's not
Yeah.
just a, hey, go out there and give it your best effort. There's software, there's technology, there's tools that we can use to, help this process along and make it more
Yeah.
efficient for everybody involved in the buying
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
So I think this has been great. Thanks for taking
Yeah.
the time, Gary.
Awesome.
And
Glad
please
to be here.
subscribe or follow, and by all means, if you guys have ideas for other types of content or other discussions you'd like to hear, or people you'd like to see us interview, please leave it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. So thanks
Awesome.
again, Gary. Have a great day. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you.